Hey there, and thanks for checking out our position that we have now available for a senior paid ads specialist. Now, this role is for the beautiful brand Wake in Cloud. And today I have their founder and managing director, Tommy Joe, here to share with us his vision for Wake in Cloud, what they've built so far, and the perfect type of person that they're looking for. So, I'm going to throw to this interview with Tommy and then come back a little bit afterwards and share the reasons why we think this is a brilliant opportunity and we're really excited for it. Tommy, thank you for joining us and giving our candidates a little bit of an inside view on what's happening at Waking Cloud.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Nathan. Um, so we're a business started back in 2015. Um, we got the idea to, we see the kind of trends to moving towards e-com like 5, 6 years ago. We started pretty small on eBay. I gradually moved towards Amazon and mainly focused on the North America market, so US and Canada. So in the past 5 to 6 years time, we mainly focused on the product, the supply chain part of the business a lot. And gradually, pretty much during the COVID period of time, we more realized that we get into kind of stage 2, which is more towards this kind of brand building stage. Pretty much we consider that as we passed this kind of 0 to 1 stage, and now it's more from 1 to 10 and build for the future. That's pretty much where we are.
That's great. And from a customer's perspective, tell us about what customers experience on Waking Cloud and what you're building there.
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, as a kind of in early stage, we're more a seller on a platform like e-com platforms like eBay, Amazon. We are more competitive on the product side, which means produce very fast changing and lots of variations on the product and have very strong control over the quality as well as the cost of the product. That's on the initial stage. And in the past year or two, more and more, we start to kind of polish this kind of shopping experience, this kind of unpacking customer support, as well as through social media and EDM to give an overall experience of a brand. That's pretty much what we are focusing in the past year or two.
Great. And you've got some brilliant sleepwear and homewares on the site. How do you come up with this new product?
It's kind of go back to the initial idea, how I started the business. I got the idea to start a business, didn't really know where to start, but I just start with somewhere I think we have a little bit of strength with. So it's come back to my background. My hometown is pretty focused on home textile, especially the bedding products. So I thought, that's probably somewhere I can build this kind of connection a little bit. That's how we decided to start with that category. In terms of the new products, even though 7 years ago, it's a pretty intense market in the US back to that time. A lot of those more neutral and plain color products are pretty much dominant by existing sellers already. So we try to kind of differentiate from the product is the only way. So from day one, we spend quite a lot of time and energy into this kind of new product design and research, understand the markets. And the best way to understand that is probably from our competitors' negative reviews to see how we improve from there.
It's a great tip for anyone in e-commerce, whether you're going for a job at Waking Cloud or not, looking at competitors' negative reviews. Tommy, tell us about the growth that you've had over the last couple of years, especially. What markets are you in and how has the team expanded and grown?
Totally. So we didn't really have a super clear plan in the first, I would say probably 4 to 5 years time. It's the period of time to survive. So the focus is a lot on the revenue, the sales, or just a very basic problem solving exercise. It's the first e-com business I started, so I didn't really have a clear plan. However, we kind of grow from 0 to I think last year we reached a 20 million revenue. And the funny thing of that is, by the time we get to that point, we realized as a team, we're pretty behind. So that part was mainly because we did something right, which is the product side. And a whole lot of the hard work was actually done by the platforms like Amazon, for example. They fulfill the orders, dealing with the customer support, the heavy lifting part. So by make the right decision, as well as a bit of luck. However, since last year, we think we start to shift the focus and changing the strategy a little bit more towards building a few core teams around the business for the future. So number one is the product design team. We have that, but we didn't put enough resource to strengthen that. We find a lot of time the growth, like I talked to the team, today's growth is always actually come from last year's work. It's not like today. So we need a very strong and clear flow to constantly pump with new and exciting products. So that's the one core team. The other one we really started focusing on is marketing. We find no matter how big we are in terms of the size, we seems like live with a giant, which is Amazon. We still hope in the future we can start have our own very, this kind of eco environment. So the team and the business can organically grow. We are not a business looking at the growth of the speed too serious. We think this kind of healthy and long-term growth in whatever kind of environment is probably the core of the business in the past probably 5 to 10 years even. So we are focusing on product marketing, and gradually once we kind of have a very deep root into those key markets, say the US, and then we will start to consider gradually branch into other English-speaking countries like Europe and Australia, I guess.
Yeah, great. And Tommy, I think you're being a bit humble there, is that you don't grow a $20 million business by luck and with no plan. So obviously there's great foundations in this business and huge growth opportunities that you've outlined there. From your perspective and the team that you're growing, especially around those products and the marketing teams, can you tell us about the types of people that you love working with at Wake in Cloud?
Yes, absolutely. When I say I don't have a plan, means it's not like, let's draw a plan for 5 years time and let's take every single step to know what's next. It's not. It's just we figure out, we replan what we do very frequently, quarterly, I would say. We know the big direction. That's very clear. We focused on income only. We focused on home decor, start with home textile. All those kind of direction are pretty clear.
Just remaining really focused.
That's right. That part is pretty focused. And along the way, we find people has been always the core of the business. It's funny enough, I designed the business from day one as a remote team, not because of COVID at all.
Pre-COVID.
So, yeah, pre-COVID. That's kind of because how I started the business, I want this kind of freedom to work anywhere I want. So we heavily focused on technology, build the system around that to make it work. We have the team now. Some of us, one of the guys is back to Taiwan next week. We have someone back to China, someone back and forth in between Singapore. So things happening and the team is constantly working with no problem at all. So back to your question, I think we need someone can understand where we are going, can actually be patient with, understand the culture, the team. So, and we have been super patient with that kind of process because we don't want to we don't like to pass tasks or projects to individuals. We pass this kind of big direction and aim to them. And we sit down quarterly together we use an OKR system. We tried that in the past year and a half now. We find it's slow in the beginning, but we find it's extremely productive in the long run, because every single person take a piece of the direction, not piece of the work, a piece of the direction. And everyone no need to like have frequent conversations like too often. We still have meetings, but not like daily meetings at all. We sit down fortnightly and realign where we are going and make sure we are all in the right direction. So that's the kind of character we need from individuals, right? So they need to be not only a doer, not only someone with this kind of technical background, but a truly thinker. Can be really critical, not only to to themselves, to the team, to the business. We love people to raise hand to say, hold a second, this is we're not in the right track. Let we sit down, have another chat. So that's the number one character we need. The other things I think are more probably at the same time, like someone to down to earth, be very true to themselves, to the work we done. Sometimes we spend 3 months time to kind of prove we take the wrong direction, and we try to be very honest to ourselves. If it's wrong, it's fine. We take this kind of fail fast approach.
Yeah, great.
We let us to make some mistakes, but sometimes it's the best way to find the correct path, I guess.
So it sounds like we're after a problem solver. We're after people who are self-motivated and can work individually, but also contribute to the team goals and vision. We're after someone down to earth and just ready to bring in their expertise, because in the time that I've known you, Tommy, and the conversations we have, you really value other people's specializations and experience, and having those brought into the business to make you all stronger is really important.
Exactly.
Great. So if we've got candidates who are listening to this and going, I love what Tommy's talking about, I love what you've built so far with Waking Cloud, and I'd love to be part of the journey moving forward, what advice would you have for them when they're putting together their resume or when they're preparing for a conversation with you? What do you think they should highlight and really tell you about?
We value the motivation part a lot. We're very interested in the reason why they make certain decisions. That why is the core for us. We want to make sure that candidates hold similar, or put it this way, we want to make sure we can provide a platform for them to grow.
Yeah,
I think that's the key. We don't consider that as like I'm not a big fan of that word, like human resource. I don't think human is resource. So it's more, we consider that as a part of the journey, and yes, it's a job, but if they cannot grow here, if they cannot learn, if they don't have the space for them to feel excited and motivated, really, I don't think that's suitable for both parties. That's why in the resume, I think if they can explain very clearly what they learned from past experience, what they're so good at, what kind of opportunity they desire for the past probably 2 to 3 years time, how they get to where they are and where they want to go. Those kind of information is probably would be very helpful.
Makes total sense. And I bet it is music to the ears of a lot of people who are looking to join your team, where motivation comes before skills. So if we get that right, then the rest falls into place. Tommy, thank you so much for giving our candidates a little bit of an insight to working with yourself, but also the team at Waking Cloud. Huge opportunity here and huge growth ahead. Thank you so much, and we look forward to bringing you some great people.
Thanks, Nathan.
There you go. I love speaking to Tommy. He is so modest when you hear him talk around what he's built so far. $20 million business, but he's so modest about it, and team is at the center of everything. So there are three reasons we are really excited about this opportunity at Wake in Cloud. Number one is that, as you heard from Tommy, he has set this business up to be 100% remote, and he has team all over the globe. So I know that is a barrier for a lot of people, especially post COVID, but this role is 100% remote and flexible. So we're breaking down that barrier straight away. Not everyone's offering that. So it's a great thing that Tommy set up there. Number two is we heard about the scale. We heard about them being at $20 million, but it's sensible scaling. And Tommy was doing this before the COVID wave hit. So he set this business up for success with a really strong supply chain and a really great network, and knowing what customers want and being able to expand on that. So the future, as Tommy said, is really exciting, and they're still considering themselves at the starting point of what kind of growth is to come. And we're talking about that at an international stage. So if you can help deliver that from a senior paid ads specialist, you've got a really key role in that growth. And the third thing is Tommy and his team. So they've got such a beautiful culture. Tommy's quote saying that he doesn't believe in human resources because humans aren't resources just summed up beautifully how they approach their people and their team. So if this is a role and a team and an opportunity that is exciting to you, we would love to chat. We love the team at Waking Cloud and would love to help connect you there. So if it's you, make sure you reach out, put your hat in the ring, and we'll see if we can get you that job at Waking Cloud.